Nearly 4 weeks after the death of George Floyd, protests are still taking place across the country. Good evening. Welcome to King 5 News at 5. I'm Mark Wright.
I'm Joyce Taylor. Today's events coincide with Juneteenth Day, marking the end of slavery in the United States. Several marches and rallies took place across the Northwest, in Seattle, in Tacoma, and Everett. The messages called for racial equality, justice, police reform, and the dismantling of systemic racism in America.
We have several reporters following our top story tonight. Let's begin with King 5's Michael Crow, live in Seattle. Michael.
Yeah, of course. Now, several Juneteenth celebrations and Black Lives Matter protests today. Take a look. We are here at Jimi Hendrix Park right now, where thousands of marchers have just arrived here for speakers, music, a teach-in. There's food. One of the speakers just said this is a party, and it certainly feels like it. Now, King County Equity marched here. It's a coalition of groups. We've actually been hearing from speakers from Africatown, Seattle for the last few minutes here. Their message, this is a new day and change will come. While nearby at Judkins Park earlier this afternoon, Andre Taylor and his group Not This Time held another rally where families of those killed by the police shared their experiences and called for change. It was very moving. Take a listen.
That you might have beat us 400 years before, but not this time.
So as we celebrate today, this holiday as Black people, we know that we are still not free. Or whatever intention of that freedom was supposed to mean, we know that we're still fighting for equality. We know that there's systemic racism. We know that there's excessive uses of force. We know that these things happen every day.
We couldn't do Juneteenth in Seattle.
We also heard Andre address those that disagree with his methods and those he works with. There was a discussion about how he wants to continue to work with the mayor and police chief, despite some calls for resignations that we've heard from different groups and different folks throughout the week here. Now, here at Jimi Hendrix Park, again, I just got to tell you, I mean, there are definitely thousands of people here celebrating this day, Juneteenth, and it looks like it's going to be going on for quite some time. They are just getting started here, down here at Jimi Hendrix Park. Live in Seattle, I'm Michael Crow, King 5 News.
Michael, thank you. Our team coverage continues with King 5's Kristen Ayers live at a protest in Tacoma. So, Kristen, we're hearing organizers of that march have a clear message for law enforcement. Tell us what that is.
Yeah, their message and their march were clearly called Stop Killing Us. Some of the organizers of that march are still here tonight. That march began here in Wapato Park, and the question for the organizers was how to mark Juneteenth, with rest or protest. In Tacoma, a tale of two Juneteenths.
No justice, no peace. No racist police.
This action, helmed by a group of high schoolers, started with a rally, then a march with a blunt message: stop killing us.
We're not only doing this for George Floyd, we're doing this for the Sandra Blands, the Trayvon Martins, the Emmanuel Ellis, the Syed Joquins.
This Juneteenth coincides with a national conversation on racism and police brutality. And organizer Theo Rollins says he and his classmates had to capitalize on that.
We've been being passive. It's not getting our voice heard. I feel like we to come out here and let people know we're Black. It's Juneteenth. We're protesting for something that we believe in.
But in Wright Park, it's a different story.
Today, we're not protesting. We're not rallying. We are celebrating Black people as a culture.
At this gathering, free food, voter registration, and spoken word.
We need to take a moment to embrace who we are, to unify and just love on each other.
A chance to heal from the hard work of fighting injustice. Tacoma Mayor Victoria Woodard says there is no wrong way to do it.
It doesn't matter how you celebrate it, but it has to be met with some form of education. You have to understand why this is important to African Americans.
She's been answering tough questions about police brutality after the killing of Emmanuel Ellis in Tacoma police custody. Woodard says now the long wait for justice begins.
I've instructed them to do the independent investigation, then to share that information with my city manager, and then I trust and fully expect that my city manager will do exactly what she needs to do.
Back out here live, the mayor also told us she's encouraged by the attention that Juneteenth is getting and by watching people come together over the holidays. She said it gives her hope. Live in Tacoma, Kristen Ayers, King 5 News.
Kristen, thank you. I want to take you live now to Vancouver, Washington, where protesters have just broken through a barricade and are about to march onto Interstate 5. Police have been warning commuters that Interstate 5, the bridge there, could be shut down as a safety precaution. And that shot there showing protesters as it zooms out, starting to march onto the ramp there, that circular ramp that's going right onto Interstate 5. So that is going to cause a big congestion in Interstate 5 down in Vancouver, Washington. We'll keep tabs on it. Joyce?
The Seattle Police Department has announced a ban on chokeholds and other forms of dangerous restraint. The department posted the new use of force policy on its blog this morning. It specifically removes neck and carotid holds because of safety concerns. Again, it's on their blog. We have much more in our second half hour, including the rallies, the protests in Snohomish County, also a live look at what's happening in the so-called CHOP zone in Seattle.